and I know that you have a home and are broadcasting right now from very close to there. I'm concerned that when it comes out they're not going to indict this cop, that all Hades is going to break loose. It already has been. And I'm not defending police state tactics. Our own reporters got shot with rubber bullets for no reason. But it did turn out the cop told the truth and was in danger, and it was a justified shooting. But people say they don't care if it's been proven that, to be a justified shooting. CNN, MSNBC are still race baiting it. Are they hoping for some racial blow-up as a diversion for Obama?
I don't think they're hoping, Alex, for a racial blow-up, but I'm concerned that it could happen. You know, I went through the Detroit riots back in the 60s, and about a month or so ago when I was back in St. Louis, I went out to Ferguson and looked at the area during the daytime, and it's a small area. I mean, it doesn't look like a huge war zone like you see on CNN, but it's upsetting because businesses have boarded up their places and they're trying to stay open, and you go by it and see wood all over the place, boarding up the windows. You don't even know if they're open or not. So those people are really getting hit, and they're suffering the most. And the worst part about it is you got a lot of infiltrators coming in from outside of the St. Louis area now, who are just coming in for their own publicity or just to, rabble-rouse and to do things like that. Now, you're absolutely right. The police officer apparently had to defend himself. Why in God's name that this individual had to tussle with the cops is beyond me. He should have just merely said, okay, I'm getting out of the street, which is what the police wanted in the first place. Just don't walk down the middle of this road. And, they told him get out, and all H broke loose between the cop and the individual, and he got killed. Now, was it excessive? Did he fire off too many bullets? I think this problem would have started even if he had shot once, even if the police officer had shot him one time.
Point is, the cop told the truth, and some of the other locals lied, but other black witnesses confirmed what later came out in video and witnesses. So I just don't get everybody staking the whole world on this event when it's not even an example of a cop being out of control. There's plenty of examples of police doing bad stuff, and a lot of times they end up getting in trouble now. I just think only scapegoating the police feeds into this balkanization program the system wants, where it's an us against them mentality. And I think that's why the controlled media tries to promote a police state on one hand, but also blame the police for everything at the same time. It's like saying, oh, look, they have all these armored vehicles in Ferguson. Well, who gave it to them? The Attorney General was blaming local police when their training and armor came from Homeland Security, George.
We have friends here who are local police officers, Alex, and many of them have scheduled vacation time coming up. They have been told no vacation time right now. You've got to be on hold. So they're anticipating the potential of problems if and when the ruling on the indictment or non-indictment comes through on the police officer. And you're right, the speculation is that the officer is not going to be indicted. And once that happens and that comes out, who knows what's going to happen. But you know what? You got to get to a point where, you and I have talked about the police state for some time. This is one of those times where you need police forces in place. You can't have people looting, shooting and, doing whatever they do. We need some order here.
Well, sure. I mean, we care about the police officers. We don't like the politicians and the police state. People tend to confuse those. I know you don't. Again, all this federalization, all this militarization, all this training, the welfare society, all of it is coming out of Hollywood, out of D.C., and then the police are on the ground who are being trained to act like this, and then the feds go, look at how horrible your police are, we'll federalize them.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So we're going to watch this situation unfold. I don't know when they're going to make the announcement. There's talk that they may do it on a Sunday, which is a strange time, of course, but they may do it on some day like that to minimize a crowd. But we'll see what happens. And the interesting phenomena about all of this, social networking has made demonstrations so much more powerful. I mean, because now you tweet and you get the word out as they did in the Middle East during the Arab Spring a few years ago. And I mean, instantly, you've got people out there, and they got to be careful about it.
And you never know what will cause that chain reaction. George Norrie is our guest. We're getting into the big issues straight ahead. The election, the economy. But first, his take on Ebola. What's really going on with Ebola straight ahead.
We're on the march.